Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo. We're here at the South Park Center and I'm here with Arsal with her movie, Reverb. Let's take a look at the clip. Arsal, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for your film. It moved me so much. For those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
First of all, I really appreciate you saying that.
Oh.
So in a very basic telling, Reverb is about a mother who lost her son to a school shooting, meeting a young graffiti artist who lost her sister to suicide.
It was actually in the history of all the short films I ever watched in my life, it was one of the hardest ones to watch because sadly it's such a current state that we're in. But it's not very often that we see it from what happens to the parents and their perspectives. And for that reason, I think it's such an important film for particularly this country to relate to and the rest of the world. I mean, I imagine where the inspirations came from, but for you personally, when did you decide to say, right, I want to make a movie about this? Where did the inspiration come for you?
So it is a little personal, difficult story for me as well. Last year, I lost my grandma and my uncle to cancer. They died about a month apart. And I was here doing my graduate program. I'm actually Turkish from Turkey, so it was already really difficult to be in another country, not being able to be with them there. So I was having my own mourning period, and I just fell into a really high depression, and it was very difficult to fight through that. At the same time, I was already following the high school shootings. I was aware of the shooting in Florida that really struck me 2 years ago, and it was a lot of intensity going on. And one of the reasons why I decided to come to the United States to pursue my graduate program was because I thought this was a safer space that enabled more career opportunities and more self-expression abilities compared to my country. So that's why I was here. And then it struck me to think that education here is not safe. You can bring guns to school, there isn't enough gun control. So I was in the space of I have to do something, but it's not my personal story. So I don't know if I'm actually stepping a stone here. Am I gonna make people angry that it's not something personally happened to me? But at the same time, I wanted to do something to support the kids that were rioting. So I was kind of what can I do as a filmmaker? So I decided to kind of use my own mourning and my own sadness and my own depression and kind of create the story of a mother who lost her son, and then kind of add that depression part with the suicide to kind of touch the younger audience as well. So that's how I was impressed to write it.
I mean, wow. I mean, well, listen, thank you for making something so personal and obviously what you've had to go through yourself. And I think what's so great about artists is sometimes they use a very dark part of their lives or experiences and turn it into film, which can be therapeutic in lots of ways. But the fact that you've outreached it to a universal audience, which is helping supporting them, amazing credit to you for that. So thank you very much for that. Obviously having a cast to take on this subject, particularly when it is very close to home, living here as well. How was that casting process for you?
It was difficult for many ways, but I think it turned out beautifully. One of the main part is, we don't have a big budget. So it's not like we can cast anyone we want. We can't really offer them a lot. The second thing I did it as a part of my graduate program, so it was a student film as well. So everyone is a little scared when it's a student film because it doesn't really give potential, most people think, and that's not the true case, as we can see from here too. So it was a lot of convincing, a lot of people kind of asking them to take it on as a passion project, providing them whatever we can. And then we did end up with a lot of people that want to cast. We had amazing talent that were really interested in the story. So that was definitely a great part. But the hardest part then became who are we going to cut off? Because all of a sudden we had 25 moms wanting to audition for the role. And I was oh my God, we just need one person. I don't know how to cut you off. Because everyone comes in with an emotional story. We had actually amazingly talented actors who came in and they were I lost a daughter, I lost a son. And I was oh my God, we need you in this film. But then you're not the right role you're not the right part for this film. So it was a lot of back and forth going there, but we ended up an amazing cast and I'm really happy with them and everyone just gave it their all. So
what's so nice about the cast that I found, it just felt so real. It just felt this could be any family. It didn't feel there was no glorification of Hollywood. It was just literally a family that went through this awful tragedy, and particularly they had a child that was still, you know, and how that affects the child that's still living as well. The younger characters were so wonderful, and you know, you had to put one through the motions. Obviously, that there was, I don't want to give anything away, but it's that very powerful scene between, you know, mother and son in the water. I took myself away at that moment and thought, wow, how on earth did you film that? Was that a challenge? Was that?
Yeah, it was a really big challenge. We did not have enough money or the gear to like shoot something underwater, but I was really eager to have that shot. That was one of the scenes that I was just like, we have to have this in this film. Like, that's what's going to make this film different than most other students' films and most other short films. We have to do it. So we kind of left 2 days to shoot it. We were like, everyone just had to keep coming back. The water was really cold. I mean, it's California, but it's December. It was an open pool. It was freezing. Our actor was actually a child actor. Like, he was 13, you know, taking time off from school. We had a tutor, but he was kind of like, okay, I'm just going to dive in. I'm just going to duck down 25 times. He had a huge headache. Like, we had to get him Advil. We had, you know, everyone on set just helping out. So that was a challenge, but it turned out really well. So,
well, I mean, I love that you know, it's a film that you made as a student, and what an amazing challenge, because those scenes underwater are always so powerful, but I don't think I've ever seen one as powerful as this, because that was just, it just blew my mind. You know, obviously I've, you know, come from you know, similar part of the world to you, and moving here and everything else. What did you want your audience to take from this film? Like, what did you know? Obviously, it's coming from a very personal place, but open this up universally. What did you kind of want your audience to kind of take from it?
What I would want people to take is honestly the true reality of the effects of such situations. It's, you know, it's not only about a high school shooting or a school shooting. It's, you know, guns are everywhere. It can even be earthquakes or like fires, but people die every day, right? That's the true. Yeah, we lose people, and that's a true tragedy. And everyone goes through them their own selves, but there's some that's like, some of them are caused by situations that we can actually prevent or do something. So that's what I was mainly trying to touch upon. Like, I can't help if my uncle gets cancer, but I can help, like, you know, just prevent someone bringing a gun into a school. So I think that should be like very easy to change and to manage. And I understand that it's politics, I understand it's government control, I understand all of those effects to it. So I know that it's not as simple as me saying, oh, guns are bad. Yeah, obviously everyone says guns are bad. I know that there's a lot of politics that goes behind that. But I think if more people stands up and more of the effects are shown, then you can kind of do something and gather more people and create a unity of that to prevent that happening.
I love that. And I think you really did show the reality. I think that was what was so special, because so many times that we ever see the parents of, you know, losing their children, it's in press conferences, it's at big marches. It's never just like at home or going through therapy or just having a really bad day with it, you know. And I think those effects, you know, just humanize it even more than maybe what we see in the news, for example. I love that you made it. What was, so taking it, obviously what you wanted to get from your audience, and then having it at like New Filmmakers LA, having it in front of an audience, how has that experience been for you?
Oh, it's been amazing. I think the festival was very well organized. It's always amazing to watch your film on a big screen. And for this film, coincidentally, was the first time that I watched Reverb yet, so that was amazing for me. It's just in festival route, so this was the first festival.
How did you feel?
It was amazing, because I've been watching it in the small laptop screen and TV screen, and now finally it's like, oh, okay. I was kind of like, oh, there's an audio shoot there. There's something there. So it's also nice to kind of get that feedback as well. That was amazing. And then obviously, you know, kind of observing the audience's reactions. I don't want to give anything away, but we had a slap scene, and I just didn't realize that it was going to be that effective. And when people were like kind of going, oh, or like laughing, I was like, okay, that's a good slap. I'm glad that we had it in there, like kind of stuff like that. So I think that was amazing to have. And also another point, something that I want to point out, is that I really tried hard to create the diversity in the film, just because I am not from here too. I'm from a Muslim country. I'm like a woman filmmaker, so I already carry some things into the film industry by myself. But I really want to give more spaces of like more self-expression, more diversity in the film, and we ended up, again, not by choice, but like just the actors that we had that like were right for the role happened to be from very diverse backgrounds, and that just happened perfectly. Like, we had Indian people in our film, we had Pakistani people in our film, we had American people in our film, and that was just amazing for me to have, like, just bring everyone into that sequence and just kind of like let it roll in the same storyline. So I think that's also a great thing, you know, get more diversity in your films.
Well, that's the world we live in, isn't it? And you know, I don't think we deserve that platform unless we're showing the true people that live in the world we live in. So I love that you did that, because you know what's so amazing is that didn't become a subject, it just became, because the subject of the film was the most important thing. It just so happened these people were from different places, and that was wonderful. So I'm glad that you did that. But what have you learned? I mean, I feel like the way that you are, I feel like you've been doing this for so many years, and you're just beginning this exciting journey. What have you learned so far in your career, or anything you go by that you could maybe share with the filmmakers out there?
Yeah, obviously the first thing is, keep going at your goals. Like, you're gonna go down. It's hard, it's difficult, especially when you're starting as a filmmaker and you don't have a lot of money, or if you're not, a celebrity's son or daughter, like, it's gonna be very difficult for you to start off.
Yeah.
Even at that point, it's very difficult to start out. But if you don't have the resources and you're just trying to start off by yourself, it's very hard to gather everything and organize it, because you become the producer, you become the writer, you become director.
Everything.
Like, you wear multiple hats, and everyone on your set wears multiple hats too.
Yeah.
So that's something that you have to appreciate and you have to acknowledge, because people are coming into this knowing that they're going to work more than 8 hours a day. It's sometimes it just happens that way.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you're always in control. You have to make sure to give your people some space. Like, my team is very important to me. If my PA needs water, we're going to take a time and that person's going to get water. You just have to make sure everyone is comfortable on set, just because the more comfortable and the more positive energy you have, the better film that you're going to end up with, because everyone kind of owns up to the film. It's all about babies right now, and I think that's very important. So as a filmmaker, just make sure of your team, just step up to your role, be the leader if you have to, and make sure to give yourself some breathing room. You're going to fail, you're going to make mistakes, that's fine. That's why you keep making films. So I think
I want to be on your set. That sounds lovely. What is next for you?
So I have a couple exciting projects. I'm actually working on my first feature. It's a horror feature, which is very out of my comfort zone. I usually do drama. This is a horror. It's a slasher. I'm really excited for that.
That sounds exciting. Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, please bring it to us.
I will.
Because we'll have to hide behind something, obviously, to watch it. But no, thank you Listen, Arsal, thank you so much. Thank you for this very, very important film, and it's a delight to have you. So thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. It was amazing.
Arsal Reverb. Thank you.